Hello and welcome to Veil of Death MTG and to a special, maybe new series? A showcase series or a what if series? I prefer showcase, this way Marvel can't sue me, I hope. I will see how many episodes and how frequent of this will come out, but I wanted to tackle a different subject and finally found some outlets for it, so let's get right into the topic. In a recent post on his blog talk, Mark Rosewater was asked about Planeswalkers and Commanders. Since recently, legendary vehicles and spaceships became legal commanders under certain restrictions. And I think this changes the conversation from a probability to an eventuality. Obviously it may take a few years and some more changes, but I think it may happen. If it will be a good or a bad idea, I'll leave that to you, dear viewers. However, for this showcase I wanted to open a speculative door about how Planeswalkers could reshape the cEDH landscape. In this showcase I will explore a cEDH deck tech led by Ashiok Dreamrender, a Dimir Planeswalker that could have legs in the format. We'll also briefly consider other Planeswalkers that could thrive as commanders before diving into the deck tech and Ashiok's potential. Some of the obvious Planeswalker candidates we have, for example, is it Deccan or Daikon Shadow Slayer? Whatever. It enables Surveil based Doomsday combos. We have Obnixilis the Adversary that generates value for sacrifice. Drawing cards is what we want, right? And you have Minsk and Blue Timeless Heroes. They could possibly be a Hulk sacrifice outlet. And many more that are optional. This is a bigger topic, and if you enjoy this showcase or just the idea of a similar showcase, let me know. There are multiple topics this can open up, and I like opening a dialogue with the community. But now let's get into the main topic, and that being the deck tech for the real nightmare, led by Ashiok Dreamrender for 1 generic and 2 separate hybrid either blue or black mana that has a hate bear kind of effect and graveyard disruption and synergy at the same time. Ashiok's static ability states spells and abilities your opponents control can cause their controller to search their library. -1, target player mills 4 cards. Then exile each opponent's graveyard, and it has a starting loyalty of 5. Ashiok's static ability shuts down tutors, a cornerstone of cEDH, while their -1 ability mills anybody, and this is crucial, however exiles only the graveyards of your opponents. This can disrupt graveyard based strategies, Underworld Breach or a reanimation setup, if they do it preemptively. As a commander, Ashiok's low cost and high starting loyalty make them a resilient early play, providing consistent disruption in the command zone. In short, it's very easy to cast turn 1 via Dark Ritual, for example. The obvious combo of win condition in Dimir is Stasis Oracle plus Demonic Consultation or Tainted Pact. However, if you look back at the -1 ability, you can mill yourself, and thus this can be used to set up a reanimator based Doomsday pile. And that is the second reason I wanted to do this showcase. First, because Planeswalkers are cool and I'm a Tevesh stan, and second, Doomsday. You had me at Doomsday. Another fun combo I would run on this would be a Bloodchief Ascension plus Mindcrank. Once Ascension is active, it creates an infinite mill/damage combo. The only reason I included it is because Ashiok will always have a large target on its head, and also remember, life is a resource. People will want to tutor and fetch, and this can put even more pressure on your opponents. Obviously Dimir is flooded, no pun intended, with commander options to be played, and there are many different ones out there that could fit. You know this if you open up the description box below. However, I want to take a few minutes to focus on cards that could support Ashiok in the command zone instead of repeating staples and the best cards already played in the format. We have Ikormur Gauntlet for 2 generic and a blue pip. That is an artifact with the following abilities. Planeswalkers you control have 0, proliferate, and -12, take an extra turn after this one. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent, put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. Ashiok does not have ways to add loyalty since they only have the minus ability. But what if they did? Well, here's a great example. Cast spells, you can increase the loyalty, and if you're really good in storming, you can even take additional turns. But sometimes the gauntlet may not be enough. Sometimes you may need more walkers to share the load. I opted for 2, namely Tezzeret Cruel Captain and Jace Reawakened. Jace specifically for story reasons, because Jace was disguised as Ashiok for some time, Both of these are great. One finds you mana rocks and bros by playing them, the other is a looter, hide's supposed to be cast free for later, and both are cheaply costed to help with the gauntlet. I did mention this can be a reanimator deck, so obviously we also have a hull breaker here, and look, with the storm you can always add more loyalty to your walkers, take extra turns and beat face. What more could you possibly want? Maybe 2 Ashioks. Well, Spark Double is here to help, and again it has Jace on the art. It's like the Illusion Mage will not let you be free. So let's circle back to the artifacts for a second. How about the new toy from Edge of Eternities, namely Surge Conductor, a free 2 artifact creature robot with the ability that whenever another non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate. Now you can conduct your own Symphony of Death. It also helps keep Ashiok ticking till you combo off. And also, side note, proliferating Bloodchief Ascension is a neat little bonus to get it online that much faster. There are some more proliferation spells in the deck and some nice little knickknacks, but those are basically free slots. You, my dear viewers, can add anything you desire. Well, maybe not yet, but eventually. Only time will tell when we can actually do shenanigans like this. Speaking of shenanigans, let's look at some opening hand examples. We have Dark Ritual, Lionside Diamond, Mana Vault, Verdant Catacombs, Swamp, Deadly Relic, Demonic Council. My randomizer really likes Dark Ritual, especially now that it's banned in Dual Commander. It's like trying to stab a knife deeper and deeper. But I digress. Turn 1 Ashiok sounds like fun, and the council can be later used along with the LED to maybe find you the One Ring, so you can draw some more cards. An interesting key that I would consider depends a little on the top decks for round 1 and 2, but it does have potential. Hand 2, Ancient Tomb, Soul Ring, Gemstone Caverns, Mystic Remora, Flusterstorm, Dance of the Dead, Vampiric Tutor. Now that is a ton of colorless mana, and unless you are not the starting player, I would not keep this. We need colored mana to cast spells, but if you get that gemstone with a luck counter, well, that is an okay keep, but other than that I would just throw it away. Moving on, hand 3, Urza Saga, Mox Ember, Ristic Study, Brainstorm, Island, Ruin Crap, Force of Will. Slow. Very slow, even worse than the previous one. I would just bin this and try again. There's not much to say about this one anyways. Hand 4, Gemstone Caverns, Lotus Petal, Experimental Augury, Gitaxian Probe, Misty Rainforest, Dark Ritual, Swan Song. No tutors, but again a turn 1 Ashiok sounds neat, but outside of that you have to hope for good top decks and or that the 2 draw spells get you somewhere. Risky, but sometimes you have to risk it for the biscuit. And depending on your player position in the chain link, this may be great or horrible. More is needed. Now, I know this is again a showcase and maybe I'm reading too much into that message and this may never happen, but then I say never again. And now I just want to go watch that bomb flick. In any case, let me know what you thought of this little thought experiment, and maybe there will be more awaiting us in the future. Also, I did an experiment before when I played a Planeswalker that couldn't be a commander in the command zone, and that was Dakin. But also it was like 2 years ago and so many things have changed since then, but I thought I ought to mention it. As always, I am Dev, and it was a pleasure talking to you a little about this, so remember to subscribe and press that like button to show your support. It helps a ton, trust me. And I will see you all behind the veil.